Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nicole Hickl, your CBS 4 News anchor for 5, 6, and 10. Today we have a special guest in our studio for our first ever Facebook Live interview and Q&A. I have McAllen native Carlos Moreno Jr., who was voiced 3 characters in the now Oscar-winning animated film Coco. What a pleasure it is to join you and to make history here at CBS 4 with our first Facebook Live interview.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here, and a little clap.
We're really excited. I thought that you would be a great person to kick this off, especially since the film just won that Academy Award. This year was your first time going to the Oscars.
Yes.
How was the emotions whenever they announced that Coco was the winner?
Well, I was on a table. You know, the Academy, you can only have a certain amount of seats in a certain place. So what they did is, for us, the ones that are part of the film, they can't fit everybody in the theater. We had a viewing area up in Beverly Hills, and a lot of stars go in there. And we were around a table. I didn't know what was going to happen. I kind of felt that it might, but I wasn't too sure because, you know, this is the Oscars. Sometimes people, you can't really sometimes predict. And there was my publicist was on one side, and I had a friend the other one. We were holding hands. They wanted to hold my hands, and I just went, all right, if this is going to happen, it's going to happen. And they announced it, and I had a handkerchief, and I went like, whoa!
Swinging it around.
And if you look at my Facebook page, you can see the video, you can see the photos that someone took of me. So in that moment, I feel like I arrived.
Yeah. 22 years in
22
LA.
years in LA. And it was that thing that said, it's all worth it. Being part of something special, something meaningful. There are a lot of actors in the film, a lot of actors.
Yeah.
And I'm just one nugget of that beautiful thing that Disney Pixar created. And they gave us such a tribute to the Mexican culture and all Latinos, where now we made a mark not only in the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Science, but we made a mark around the world. So I'm really grateful for Lee, you know, the director, for the producer, and for the writer, Molina, producer, Darla, and every single actor, everybody that poured their soul into this thing. And you could feel that energy, and that's something quite special. I'm really happy to be part of it.
Yeah, your eyes were tearing up whenever you mentioned it because you are of Mexican descent. And how did it feel to be approached for this type of film that really celebrates the Mexican culture, really puts out there and simplifies what Dia de los Muertos means to the Mexican culture?
Well, when because I got the call to go to work, basically, and then all these actors, because I did 4 characters. There's another character later on. Yeah. But you don't know what character you're going to play. So the director, Lee, because these are lesser actors, they would say, okay, Carlos, Damien, and blah, 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 come up here. And you literally audition right on the spot. You look at the lines, and then the director, Lee, basically conducts you. He says, all right, just use your voice, or a little voice higher, or a little voice lower. You know, so he conducts you, and you just go with whatever he says, and then the next person goes up and does the same thing. So for me to watch the film with my family, which are here, some of them, it was like, this is like a legacy that I'm leaving behind, I guess, you know, because it's something part. So I was excited, I was nervous, all the emotions go on, and you just can't believe it. So even though I'm there, I had to go like, really? And you know, I'm here, I'm part of this, so it's an honor.
Yeah, you pinch yourself.
I did more than that too.
But we asked some of our viewers yesterday when we were promoting that we were going to have this interview to send us some questions.
Thank you, viewers, by the way.
Yes, it was great. A lot of people saying congratulations because it really puts the Valley and McAllen on the map. Another person from the Valley making it in LA. You made it. 22 years. You made it. You made it in LA. And one of our directors had pop up one of the first questions that we got. I think you'll really enjoy this one. It's from Jennifer Garcia. First off, congratulations on your success. What advice would you give young thespians, actors from the Valley wanting to pursue a professional career in the film industry?
The advice is you have to study. You got to go to school. You got to know the technique if you're going to be an actor, just like everything else. Art, including what you're doing, including all this stuff around. Everybody in here, you learn. You study the arts, or you study your craft. Learn it so well that it's so embedded in your DNA, just like all the other greats that know that you're undeniable. So go to class. After you go to class, people are going to tell you no a lot of times. You know how many times I've heard no in my life? So what I was trained, because I had a master teacher, and his name is Milton Katselas. He's no longer around, so I owe a lot of my work to Milton Katselas at the Beverly Hills Playhouse. So it's the belief that you have in you is got to be more than anybody else in the world. Right. You have to have the belief to the nth degree. So you got that, it's undeniable, you're there. But you will still hear some no's. So what you do is, the more no's you hear, the closer you are to that yes.
Yes.
So you just continue on until something falls in your lap. And then you take that and you make it your own, and then you fly with it, and hopefully that gets you another job. But learn the craft, because there's so many people. LA is so saturated with a lot of artists from all over the place. So you got to stand out. So learn the craft, undeniable, belief in yourself more than anybody else, and then whenever you hear no, just be closer. It'll just be closer to the door that says yes.
Yeah, and that's the advice for anyone in any industry.
Including relationships.
Including relationships. You're like, maybe if I ask her again, she'll go on that date.
There you go.
We have a second question. I believe this one is from Ruby Sanchez. This is a great question that she has. Which other movies have you been a part of, and how were you approached to be a part of this movie, which I think you kind of touched on, but what other movies have you done?
One of the first big movies I was in was Transformers, which was the very first Transformers. I played the role of Manny there, opposite of Bernie Mac. That was probably the big one. 2 years ago, I was in a film called Frank and Lola, opposite Michael Shannon, who was actually on the movie with Guillermo del Toro, the water film, the
Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. Yes, I'm sorry. So the main guy that was in that, I worked with him on that film called Frank and Lola, which you can rent on DVD right now. So I played a sidekick on the side. I've done a lot of TV shows such as Dexter, CSI, ER when ER was back around, 11th Hour, the Superstore, Difficult People. For animation, I worked in a group of people we call like the looping group, and so that's how I got started with doing animation. A woman named Barbara Harris gave me the opportunity to go and do these things, and that's how I ended up with the Disney Pixar. I done, of course, Coco, Happy Feet 2.
Oh.
I can dance it too.
Can you?
Yeah. My famous line there was, "Si se puede." It's a little penguin that I gave. I gotta be Cesar Chavez. It's okay. I go with it. And then I have Si se puede, and then I had the Legoland the movie. So those are 3 animated films that I've been part of. But I also produce and direct.
Nice. So you dabble with everything.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, that teacher that I had, he teaches actors to direct themselves, and that's why you need to own the craft. And my teacher directed Marlon Brando, Elizabeth Taylor, Betty Davis. For those that you don't know, do your research. That's the other thing. Do research. So a lot, and has made stars from George Clooney to Michelle Pfeiffer to Jim Carrey.
Wow.
So you gotta work and just be really strong. Don't let anybody pull you down.
Right. If you have the passion, the drive, just
and with an attitude.
And with an attitude.
With a smile on
and
your
a
face.
smile on our face. Okay, let's get to the third question that we pulled from our Facebook page. This one coming from John David Alanis. How does one become a voice actor? Yeah, that's a great question.
For me, like I said, I ended up being lucky. There was another movie on PBS, I think it was. Barbara Harris, which is a looping group, they needed someone that could speak Spanish. That's the other thing. For those young folks, do not lose Spanish. Yo puedo hablar español, también te puedo hablar en inglés. Do not lose the Spanish. It's very important to be bilingual. So she wanted somebody that could speak Spanish, and I got into that, into the looping group. That was like 15 years ago.
Wow.
So they've been using me with all the other actors, and I just became part of that world. besides acting in front of the camera, I also can do this. So actors, we can go
have to be
in
versatile.
front, in the back,
Yeah.
director, producer, and now we can with all this great technology, which is all this high definition.
And I'm sure a lot of people have noticed there are a lot of actors for big shows like Grey's Anatomy. Jesse Williams promoting, oh, I'm directing, this episode. And you do see that a lot, that you just can't be the person who's in front of the camera. You have to also take a step back, be humble enough to take a step back and direct others.
Yes, I had, believe it or not, I've been going around festivals since November or October.
Fresh off
year.
South by Southwest in Austin.
Yeah. So I did a short film called Panacea that's been really well received, and it's a very difficult subject. It's another subject matter that deals with a little bit of death, but it's a celebration of life.
Right.
It's called Panacea. I did 4 short films in about 2 years, and all at festivals.
Wow.
So they're all going, so I'm going everywhere. And it's all coming like to.
That's a great way to get your face out there. You're building
because
a
you're
brand.
promoting yourself.
Yes.
You're pushing yourself. Directors see you, producers see you, and you're not just an actor. So don't just put yourself as a voice actor, but continue on with whatever it is. You need to learn everything in this field. You need to learn lights, you need to learn cameras, you need to learn sound, because you can communicate with the sound man, you can communicate with the director, the producer, you can communicate with the cameraman.
Yeah.
I had to learn all that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it took me so long.
No, it's okay. I mean, you're learning everything. This last question that we have, I think you'll really like it. Let's see if Carlos will answer it. Ramon Villarreal, is there going to be a Coco 2?
I don't know. I'm sure if it's this successful, I mean, we're approaching this $800 million sell,
Yes.
net, and I'm thinking that there is, because I was just reading that there's a Toy Story 4 with that same director. So if there's a Toy
we're gonna
Story
cry again.
4,
Yeah.
there's gotta be a Coco 2. I mean, people are demanding it, and that's the other thing that I want to let people know, that after Coco, there's so much Latino they don't know what to do next.
Yeah.
So they're looking for content, like what is the next Coco? It became so successful around the world that it's opened up doors for nosotros, for us as Latinos. So if you have a story out there, don't be shy. Write it, put it together, shoot it in the camera, get involved, don't stop. And you can always hit me up. I'm Carlos Moreno Jr. You can hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, blah, blah, blah. I used to teach here like once a year.
Wow.
I used to teach like for free because I wanted more people to go out there.
Right.
But then I got busy this past year. So hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, or website. It's my name.
CarlosMorenoJr.com.
Yeah. And check it out. If I can bring you along. Like, see this right here? Somebody gave this to me at
wow.
the Oscars.
That's beautiful.
This is bullet for peace, and these are 2 hands, because you got to help your brother and your sister. So these are little 2 hands like this. I think this is really cool. So this is my belief, and through my production company, which is called Bro Pictures, because I become your brother. I work for you.
Bro.
It's all about helping out, helping each other, and I have that. That's my fundamental core as an artist. Because it took me a while for somebody to help me, so I want to help others.
And I think you really hit home with that. Is this industry is not only the talent, the drive, the determination, the passion, but also who you know. And it's important to not discredit anyone, like you were saying, to know the producers, the cameraman. You can't discredit anyone, because they could know someone who could give you that break.
Right. Yeah. So you gotta. As a matter of fact, I did the holding of the boom for a while. I did the catering. In my productions, I do the whole thing, because I got to really get to the gist of the animal, which is the production company, or the production. So we need more stories out there. We need more of all of us, all minorities right now, because look at Black Panther, what's going on right now.
I can imagine
how. So that's a $1 billion film.
Yeah, how the Black culture feels about Black Panther is probably how the Mexican culture obviously feels about Coco.
Yeah.
It's great to see minorities just really rising right now.
It's time.
It's time.
It's our time.
And it's time to support one another and just keep pushing. Before we go, I'm really happy that you actually got to join join us. For those who are just tuning in, this is Carlos Moreno Jr., who did 3 voices in the Oscar-winning animated film Coco. You just given some great tips, great advice. Is there any last piece of advice that you'd like to give to those who are watching, especially those who are on the computer right now at work and doing that 9-to-5 job, and they're like, I really see myself in LA and being an actor?
First of all, thank you for watching. One of the advices that I remember from my teacher that I will, pass over.
Yeah.
He said to us one time, Milton, he said, the community, it takes a village to raise a child, right? So it takes a village to raise a star. A star is not born. So you got to support each other. It's the family, it's the friends, because eventually you will be up there. So the more support you have, the more you help each other out, the more you'll see the stories flourish. So support each other here in the valley, outside of the valley. Whatever people need, be part of it. Don't just stand back. Do not be afraid. Dive into. If you're going to go to LA, just dive in. Don't be like, because that's what I did. I was like kind of.
You just test out the water, put a foot in there.
That's why it took me a long time. Being a migrant worker and all that, I was a little bit like I felt a little bit back. But now you have to own this space and be proud of who you are. That's the most important thing.
Last thing before we go, I keep thinking about it. So you were the 3 characters: the corn man, the stage manager, and also one of the fellows I was trying to get across
the bridge.
But I think the corn man's line was probably the most memorable.
Yeah, what I miss. What I miss. That was
like the whole world just fell apart.
It fell apart because
missed everything.
Yeah, because it's elotero. That's what we call it here, and of course,
which a lot of people
I'm very happy. I'm blessed. I wish you success.
I wish you success. Thank you so much for joining us for our first Facebook Live. And of course, there's other people that you want to see featured on Facebook Live. We can continue this. You can follow me on social media right there. Nicole Hickl, KGBT on Twitter. Nicole Hickl, CBS 4 News on Facebook. Until then, I will see you back here for CBS 4 Valley at 5. No 6 o'clock because, it's March Madness. So I'll see you then. Have a great afternoon.